Hey guys, what's up? This is Chetan for Gizmo Times and this is the last day of the year 2017. And as usual, we'll be coming up with the lists of best phones that we have seen in this year. And the major focus this time has been only on the price segment between 10,000 and 20,000 rupees. That's the mid-range price segment, because although there have been some very good flagships and also some very decent phones in the budget range, this has been the major focus area where people have been buying phones if they have been using for the first time or even upgrading from a smaller one. This is the price segment 10,000 to 20,000 where most of them are buying their best smartphone this year. And when we are ending this year, we surely need to let you know which I felt were the best phones of this year. So these are the best three phones and this is the order of it. First is this Honor 7X, then the Xiaomi Mi A1 and finally the Moto G5s Plus. There were many other phones, namely the Infinix 05 and a few other phones from Oppo, Vivo, which were all good with a couple of features in each of them. But then these three phones have a lot of advantages within themselves when compared to those phones. And in these three phones as well, I have my own order, having the Honor 7X on the top and then the Xiaomi Mi A1 and the Moto G5s Plus. And in this video, we'll talk about the reasons why I have this order and the reasons why only these three phones came up in the list. So let's start. The Honor 7X comes with a larger display to begin with, and that doesn't come with a larger size, and that is one major advantage, because having almost the same body size and giving a 5.93 inch display instead of the standard 5.5 inch that has been there last year, before that year and in this year as well. But then the 7X joined the bandwagon of the 18:9 displays, where the resolution has been pumped up, or the aspect ratio has been made better, and there's a lesser borders on the side, lesser bezels on the side, which uses a lot of space usually. And that is where the Honor 7X takes its first mark over the Xiaomi Mi A1 and the Moto G5s Plus, both of which have a 5.5 inch display. Next, coming to the design itself, if you can see, this is a unique design. I don't say that you won't find it anywhere else, because you might be seeing it in the coming phones from the same brand or from the other brands as well. But then for now, this is one of the unique designs that you see. Two cameras placed separately, and again a full metal body on this device and a fingerprint sensor on the back. The phone on the front looks much better because of this large display, the 18:9 aspect ratio, which clearly tells you that a lot of space is being used this time, and there's only a little of space in the bottom and on the top for the cameras and sensors obviously. So this is a major shift from what the Honor 6X was, and this is much better than what the other two phones offer, although they aren't a bad deal in the end, because they still offer a full HD display, which is not given on some of the phones which are priced higher than this. And for the other two phones, when you see them, the Moto G5s Plus is not a bad looking phone, but the camera bump on the back is what I don't like. And on the front you see there's a 5.5 inch display on both of them and a lot of space is used up there. And while the Mi A1 gives you the fingerprint sensor on the back of the device, still you can see that a lot of space is being wasted on the front with the navigation buttons out of the display, and the same on the Moto G5s Plus, where there's the fingerprint sensor on the front, and that is where they could have made a mark with the 5.93 or 6 inch display given here, but they haven't done that. Now coming to the performance, both the phones, the Mi A1 as well as the Moto G5s Plus, have come with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 625 processor. But compared to that, the Honor 7X has come with its homegrown Kirin 659 processor, which is not a bad deal at all again. Though there is a lot said about the Snapdragon chipsets having a better battery efficiency, if you actually use the phones, all the three are almost the same with the performance, with the battery efficiency, and with the way they handle multitasking. Here, all the three variants that I am talking about right now have 4 GB of RAM, and the storages again vary, with the Honor 7X having two variants, one with 32 GB storage and one with 64, while the Moto G5s Plus and the Xiaomi Mi A1 both come with 64 GB storage for the one that I'm comparing, and I'll let you know the prices of these particular devices. Now coming to the major aspect, that is the cameras of the phone. The three phones have unique set of cameras. All the three have dual lens cameras, which is again a trend of 2017. And here, while the Honor 7X comes with the 16 megapixel plus 2 megapixel combination, where the 2MP camera is only for the depth sensing, the Xiaomi Mi A1 comes with a dual lens camera setup of 12 megapixel plus 12 megapixel, while the Moto G5s Plus has a 13MP plus 13MP camera combination, where the Moto G5s Plus, although has a good camera combination here, the secondary sensor does nothing else except for the depth sensing. And on the Mi A1, there's a certain advantage over the other two, where it can have the 2x optical zoom, with the telephoto lens that is offered on the secondary camera. So that is one area where the Xiaomi Mi A1 can beat the other two with the 12 megapixel secondary sensor offering the zoom. Also the portrait mode is quite good on the Mi A1, but that isn't bad at all on the Honor 7X. But that is where the Moto G5s Plus was given a third rank, because having a dual lens setup with two 13 megapixel cameras, if you can't take proper portrait photos, there's no point of having a dual lens setup there. It mostly seemed like there was a software optimization done and some software setup to help the bokeh, and there was no proper work done by the hardware to get you the bokeh right on the Moto G5s Plus. While on the other two phones that's here, the Honor 7X and the Mi A1, the portrait shots came out quite good. And on the Honor 7X, in the end, the color reproduction on most of the captures were quite good. In the low light capabilities, if you talk again, the Moto G5s Plus had a little edge over the other two. Now talking about the OS and the interface. The first time Xiaomi came up with the stock Android is on this phone, the Xiaomi Mi A1, having the Android 1 project, so it had the stock Android over Android Nougat. And by this time you should have already seen the Android Oreo update on this, but that hasn't happened. So the promise of having software updates under Android 1 program is not clearly seen here. The Moto G5s Plus as well on the other side has the stock Android, which is again a very good thing for Motorola phones because they have the Moto app that gives you a lot of good features. But then the software update again is an issue here because there's no Oreo update so far given on the Moto G5s Plus as well. Finally, the Honor 7X. It has a custom ROM, the EMUI 5.1 over Android Nougat, and we are not really sure whether it would get the Android Oreo update anytime soon. But then that's the thing with the custom interfaces. Having a major update as well doesn't change a lot of things because you're already given a different experience here. I seriously wish that the Mi A1 had come up with the MIUI version as well, but that hasn't happened, and that is a little disappointment because the stock Android, although is very snappy and good, the MIUI features such as the gestures and the different applications that Xiaomi has for its phones, they're all missing, and that takes away all the experience that you had expected. So that is the case with the interfaces. It always would be a personal choice, but for me, the 7X would be a better choice than the other two because of the features, the gestures that are given there, and a lot more, such as the fingerprint sensor. That brings us to another point where the Honor 7X is a brilliant choice over the other two. The fingerprint sensor is not only for the scanning of the fingerprints and to unlock the screen, but it does a lot more functions, such as dragging down the notification panel, also which is a feature on the Mi A1 as well. But then you can swipe through the different photos in the gallery, you can also take pictures, and that is all possible on the fingerprint sensor itself. Finally, coming to the battery life. Here it isn't a clear case of numbers. The Honor 7X has a 3340 mAh battery, while the Mi A1 comes with a 3080 mAh and a 3000 mAh battery powers the Moto G5s Plus. But again, a higher battery drain can be expected on the Honor 7X because of the higher resolution, that's 2160 into 1080 pixels. Compared to that, the Mi A1 as well as the Moto G5s Plus both have a 1920 into 1080 pixels resolution on a 5.5 inch display, but the optimization done is quite good on all the three phones, and we have seen almost the same battery life except a bit better on the Honor 7X, which has a better standby. These are the different reasons why I feel that the Honor 7X has a better edge over the other two phones, and that is the reason why it has been ranked number 1 in the mid-range phones from Gizmo Times this year, and the other two phones behind that are the Xiaomi Mi A1 and the Moto G5s Plus. So these were the three choices. I hope you like this video, and if you do share it and subscribe to Gizmo Times for more. Thank you for watching.